Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are digging into a problem that, let's be honest, anyone managing a modern AWS setup knows all too well. How do you keep your monitoring from falling behind your actual infrastructure? We're going to look at a really powerful way to bring some calm to that chaos by pairing up Grafana with AWS CloudWatch.
All right, so let's dive right in. We're going to start with the core issue, a super common problem that can totally overwhelm even the best teams out there when you're working in the cloud.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Is your monitoring really keeping up? When your app scales up or scales down, do your dashboards actually show that new reality right away? Or do you feel like you're constantly playing catch-up?
And this right here, this is the headache. We're talking about ephemeral resources. Just think about it for a second. Your auto-scaling kicks in. It spins up a bunch of new EC2 instances, which is great, right? Your app can handle the new traffic. But the bad news? Well, those beautiful dashboards you built are now basically lying to you because they have no idea these new resources even exist.
But what if there was a better way? What if your monitoring could actually be just as dynamic as your infrastructure? Let's take a look at a much smarter, way more powerful way to see what's really going on.
What I love about this is just how clearly it lays out the difference. I mean, the old way, it's a chore, right? You're manually hunting down instance IDs, you're constantly updating static dashboards, you're bouncing between a bunch of different tools. But the Grafana and CloudWatch way, it's all about automation. New resources just show up, your graphs update themselves, and you get to see the whole picture, all in one spot.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how does this all actually work? Let's break down the magic behind automating your metrics, and we'll focus on some features that have been around since Grafana 6.5. So the secret sauce here is using wildcards in your queries. This completely flips how you think about monitoring. You stop treating each server like a special pet that you have to name and track. Instead, you treat them like cattle. They're part of a herd. You just set up a query with a wildcard pattern, and from that moment on, any new instance that matches that pattern just appears on your graph. It's that simple. No more manual work, you just get instant visibility.
And this, right here, is the money shot. Seriously, let that sink in. All that time you've spent hunting down new instance IDs, updating config files, tweaking dashboards, it's just gone. This is an absolute game changer if you're working with any kind of auto-scaling.
And hey, to get you up and running even faster, there are pre-built dashboards ready to go right out of the box. So this makes it super simple to start monitoring some of the most common things, like your EC2 instances, your EBS volumes, and your Lambda functions.
Okay, but dynamic monitoring isn't just about metrics. We all know that's only half the story, right? So let's see how we can apply that same smart thinking to our logs, using some really cool features that showed up in Grafana 7.0.
This is where things get really, really cool. You can now run CloudWatch Logs Insights queries. That's AWS's powerful log analytics service. But you do it directly from Grafana. So this means you're not just scrolling through endless walls of text anymore. You're actually running sophisticated queries to analyze your log data.
And the best part? You can visualize the answers you get back. Look at this. You can turn that raw log data into something you can actually use. Want to compare error counts across your functions? Bam, bar graph. Need to track latency over time? There's a line graph for that. You can even still see the raw logs when you need to dig really deep. It's all right there.
All right, so let's zoom out. We've talked automated metrics, we've talked visualized logs. Let's pull this all together and talk about what this unified advantage actually means for you and your team on a day-to-day basis.
When you boil it all down, it's about being faster and smarter. You're swapping out all that boring, repetitive manual work for automated insights. You get to the root cause of problems way faster because your metrics and your logs are sitting right next to each other. It's that single pane of glass we're all after for our CloudWatch data.
And this really says it all. This is the big shift. You stop just reacting to problems and putting out fires. Instead, you start proactively seeing trends, you understand performance, and you make decisions based on actual data before a little hiccup turns into a major outage.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. With this kind of power to query and visualize everything, what important patterns are just sitting there, hiding in your logs right now, waiting for you to find them? So if you're ready to start taming your own cloud chaos and you want to unlock some of these insights, the best place to start is the official documentation. Just do a search for using AWS CloudWatch in Grafana over at the Grafana Labs website. Thanks so much for watching.